Okay, so to begin with, we have 3 items here, 3 different dagger bookmarks. And I like these because they are a very strong symbol of intellect. The piercing, dissecting concept of the dagger alongside a readability. We have 3 items here, but before we go into those items, let's shuffle and draw 3 cards. I hope you all are doing very well today. Oh, okay, we got one. Came over on this side. We'll keep it with the Raven Skull dagger. Ooh, okay. A couple came out here. 1, 2. Is there more than? No? Okay, great. So, here we go. I'll give you all a moment to choose your reading before we reveal the cards. For reading 1, we have the moon, the lunar items dagger. Lunar cards and coins and gems. Perhaps if you're into esoteric knowledge, this would be a good one. But also this, actually all 3. Here we have an angelic eye dagger. And for reading number 3, we have the Raven Skull dagger. I like this one because on the other side, it's just feathers. It's kind of cool. Also with this one, the eye's only on one side. I believe even the cards are, yeah, here we go. Very nighttime themed, so fits with this deck as well. I'm not saying you should only pick this one, but cool. So, give you a moment, and we'll move on to revealing the cards. Okay. So, alongside the lunar items dagger, the lunar themed dagger, we have 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. It's a very interesting, almost contrast here. You have the daytime reaping the rewards of long, hard work and growth alongside arcane knowledge. For the Angel Eye dagger, we have more Pentacles. Interesting. 7 of Pentacles. Hard work. Hard work. But fruitful progress. Interesting. Look at that. I shuffled these decks quite a bit, so. Okay. Then we have the Ravenclaw. Oh, wow. Now that's interesting. The Raven Skull. I said Ravenclaw. Any Harry Potter fans out there? This was the same placement in yesterday's reading. During the pick a card, the Emperor was in this exact position. And I was saying it was interesting, it was with a snake dagger. And now we have the Raven dagger, so there's a lot of animal power energy associated with the Emperor. Perhaps if you were watching last time, maybe there's more here you'll want to read. If you chose the Emperor last time, maybe this is the one for you. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll start shuffling and we'll get to our first reading. See you soon. Reading pile number 1, or reading number 1, you chose the lunar dagger alongside the 9 of Pentacles. An interesting contrast. We have this whole thing wanted to come out. What do I do there? I guess we'll take all of those. An interesting contrast between the two. You have the nighttime and the day, kind of an unknown secret with the revealing of the results of hard labor. This one was going to, okay. All right, 2. Well, we'll see what we got here. Interesting. They came out rather intently. So, okay. I'm going to say the bottom one will go in the first placement, and we'll move from there. draw 3 more. How are you doing, pile number 1? Have you been working hard and seeing results? Perhaps in a spiritual endeavor, combining these 2 themes. Okay, well, let's see. Well, you currently are the Knight of Wands. So, moving forward with something. Forward with something maybe within health, or a freelance job, or a side project that is entirely your own. Let's get these more in line. Interesting. I'm going to shift the camera just a little bit to get this a little bit more in view. Okay. Shift that just a little bit. Sorry for the mic pop. I'm sure I just had a little mic pop there, but okay, cool. All right, so fruitful labor and something spiritual, but also maybe like yoga or something movement. Maybe you're running. Maybe you're finding like some kind of like connection to something through sports. But let's keep reading first before I keep jumping in. Wow, the world. Okay, it's an ending. It's like an all-encompassing end. This is a very interesting. We're gonna. Let's keep clarifying. So in the past, there was a disappointment, perhaps, but it was a silver lining there. Perhaps it was a disappointment that you weren't really that conscious of. Yeah, interesting. Well, look at this, 4 into 5 of cups. There's progression, definitely a lot of progression here. And Page of Cups, lots of cups. Spiritual stuff. I was thinking this is spiritual, and there's a lot of emotional elements to this, but it's kind of manifesting itself, or it's revealing itself as like in like material, in the material realm a little bit. There's a new beginning in the material realm after perhaps an emotional, perhaps like some kind of emotional connection or relationship. Maybe you went in a little too strong with it, and it's kind of resulted in you having to focus on your resources on your own for a little bit. Oh, we don't do reversals. Not right now. 8 of Cups, moving on your own. New beginning, like this is the end of something. I don't want to say you've gotten a breakup, but like perhaps moving away. Maybe there is an end to a relationship in the past, or like you just kind of separated from someone, friend or lover perhaps. Interesting. Perhaps the resources are a little like more scarce now, or perhaps not. Maybe you're actually like more empowered now that you're on your own. Maybe this was a partnership or maybe it was even, oh wow, okay. I want to say, now this isn't for everyone, obviously, these are broad readings, but my first initial reaction is this is a emotional connection that ended, but is leading to one that is more fulfilling. One where you have to be a little bit more independent with your finances, with your resources, but will allow you the freedom to actually find a success that will lead to a very fulfilling relationship. And a very at least emotional relationship, like emotions and a sense of fulfillment, whether or not it's in a relationship or not. Could be. It looks a lot like that here. This looks like, I mean, if I were to pick a very specific timeline here, for some of you, it will be you had a breakup where you were living together, you had to move, and that made some of your finances a little uncertain because of, hey, you were sharing rent. Living on your own, though, results in you giving yourself the strength or the freedom to really come into your own emotionally and possibly even financially, so that like maybe you have more time to work on some side project that might provide you money. But especially emotionally, giving you the freedom to move in the right direction, the lessons learned to allow you to really experience, like like you're able to look back at the lessons learned and go on your own way emotionally to really become resilient on your own, but to then unite with someone new in a very fulfilling relationship. That's one timeline here. Many people might be in very good relationships right now. In that case, I would say this is about more an internal emotional growth, where you're letting go of a specific idea that you've been working on, maybe in regards to your relationship to money personally, but it's allowing you to have more connection to yourself and to others as well, through your understanding and your newfound strength through having left that one idea behind. And what's interesting is we have the dagger and the Nine of Pentacles. So this is something you were working on a lot. So maybe you're letting go of something that you kind of were holding on to for a while. I mean, letting go here, like being sad about that the subconscious concept of loss. Perhaps you weren't even you were focused more on the money aspect. But oftentimes, sometimes we do things for money, but it's also fulfilling internally. And maybe you were doing something that was fulfilling, that wasn't as fulfilling internally, but was making you money. And now there's a new beginning that's more fulfilling and allows you to make more money too. It's one of those things where, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life kind of thing, where you'll have the energy to work really hard if you love doing what you do, which could actually bring in more prosperity than if you try to do something that you think will just make you money or make you more money, but it's not what you love. Well, you won't be as motivated to do it. So that seems more what's going on here in some people's timelines, although I do think the relationship one is a very strong reading here. One of having to accept some form of sacrifice, a little bit, initially, for a short period of time, in order to grow into a more fulfilling place. Let's do a little bit of clarification with the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. Art Nouveau. Apologies. Well, that one really that just really wanted to come out. Okay. Actually, I can shuffle like this with this deck. The other deck's just a little too big. Okay, we got a lot here. Interesting. I always pre-shuffle these, but if you'd like to see that on video, just let me know. These are revealed. I'm actually going to take these to the side and consider them as secondary thoughts, but not associating with any specific place. And we're just going to do quick off the top. Actually, we're going to reveal them right now. Interesting. Temperance, patience. You might have had a small conversation with someone where someone said, has an idea of what you should be doing. Maybe that's someone you're leaving. You're clearly putting in work and letting go of some energies and reclaiming ones that you feel belong to you. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things with finances here. And also emotional maturity. But definitely leaving some form of situation that might have been very costly. Maybe you were in a very expensive apartment and now you're going to be in a less expensive one, but better for you. Intuitively, you need space to create something. Either it's, families, there's a big timeline here. And look at this, you need space. Maybe your own room. Maybe you have to just ask for something. Maybe you need an office space. Maybe if you're in an office, you need to ask for a bigger office or your own office because you have the ability, you have a drive and you have a need for that space. Or maybe just asking whoever you're living with, hey, can I have that table? Hey, can I have that room? Interesting. Or maybe you're moved into a new apartment and you have a lot of extra space. Or maybe you need to let go of some things. That's a big thing. When you want space to create something new, oftentimes you have to let go of stuff in order to make the room. Here's the 3 bonus ones. We got some queens. Oh, interesting. A lot of sword. Look at that. Look at all that holding of the swords. Oh, those all came out at once, and they're not the same. Okay. 5 of swords, Queen of swords, and justice. Discernment, judgment. 5 of swords. Perhaps there was some form of having to leave or some form of disappointment. I think we talked about disappointment. Disappointment in the past, but leading to a very strong future where you're making things intuitively. Perhaps having emotional strength now, spiritual strength to create. You have to be confident to create in some ways. You have to at least be in a place of creation. You have maybe with nature on the chariot. You have the Empress on the chariot. The concept of pregnancy, creating something new. I mean, if you're outside in nature, you got a lot of space, right? Interesting. Okay. So then we have the 6 of Pentacles on top of 10 of Cups. The ability of someone with abundance to give to people who feel less abundant, but that could be a lot of different things. But the Hermit going on top here makes a lot of sense if you have your own place now. If you've moved out, made space, you have your own place, but you have that internal light. Remember that the Hermit's always got knowledge. Your strength, your wisdom is within. The answer is inside. You have the answer. Patience. That was an old cycle. New cycle begins. Okay. Well, I feel like there's a few different timelines here, but the main one is about creating space for yourself, leaving a constricting situation, even if it feels like a loss, but creating the space that you need to create the abundance and stability that you can create and provide to other people as well. I think emotional stability is a big theme here, I feel. Emotional stability through having an abundant resource. Maybe you, as your creator, if you're a creator of something, perhaps you do crafts, or have an Etsy or something like that. If you have extra space, you can create with that. Space is very important. Interesting combination. Well, hey, pile number 1, or reading number 1. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. I'm going to add one more thing. You made the right decision. Whatever it was, I feel like there was a decision made, or at least there was a change in an environment. And that move was good, because remember, wherever you end up, there will be opportunities to create something even better than what you had before. There's always opportunities to create something better. So I feel like involving some form of space, create your own space. And I think you already have an idea of what you want to do. But if you don't, just be a little patient and it'll come to you. I'm excited for you, pile number 1. You have. I want to see this workplace that you've created, this workspace. Maybe you have some kind of workshop. I would love to see it in the future. And I'm sure right now it's a work in progress, but hey, you know what? It's probably already very impressive, and I'd love to see it. So, take care. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Angelic Eye Dagger alongside the 7 of Pentacles. Another interesting combination, much like the first pile. But we're not going to make any judgments based on the first pile. This is a new pile and a new reading. So let's begin. That one wanted to stay there. I'll put this to the side. It should go there. I don't know why. It just needs to go there. No. We'll just reveal it. Okay, Queen of Wands. We'll just put that to the side. That was an idea that wanted to be seen before anything else. Queen of Wands alongside Seven of Pentacles and an angelic dagger. Intuitively prosperous. Not just prosperous, but entrepreneurial in some way. You're working hard. Perhaps you're connected to some kind of artistic endeavor or something that requires a little intuition. I don't know why I want to say therapy. Popped in. Ooh. Wow. Okay. That's too many. Let's see, how many? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? We'll just draw them. We'll draw them like this. Okay. We have 2 more. Interesting. Let's keep that there, and we'll put that one here. Okay, I'm gonna reveal this card too. There's a lot of extra cards in this reading. This is interesting. The Angel Eye Dagger has got some energy to it, doesn't it? It's kind of cool. All right. I'll reveal, at the end, I'll reveal this one as well. But we're gonna leave the Queen of Wands on top because I want that energy here. It feels right. Okay, currently, group number 2, you are King of Cups. King of Cups with the Queen of Wands. Okay. King of Cups, joyful, kind of connected, emotionally connected to a lot of people right now, in a good way. The Star, in a healing way. I said therapy, right? Therapy. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Healing, connection with people. 7 of Swords in the past. Some form of distrust from the past, maybe. But Knight of Swords on top. So moving bravely forward. Knowing when to judge someone based on past experiences. But past experience wasn't too bad. You might have had a sense of, you know, you were doing the right thing. You were doing everything you could that was right. You kind of stayed away from people. Maybe you were, when you had an experience with someone where you felt a little betrayed slightly. I don't know if it was a serious betrayal, but it could have been. But you're either trying to heal that wound or you are a healer yourself. I mean, everyone's a healer, but that might be your profession even, just judging by combining these two, like emotionally resilient healer. But every healer needs other healers. We all need to heal each other. Hard work. Hard work to build that city. Takes a village. Okay. Oof. Got a big bad card here. That's a scary card, right? But that's okay. It's not normally that as bad as it seems. And it's interesting. I mean, we have 2 more cards here and 1 more card underneath. But if you're a healer, perhaps this isn't you that's hurt, but someone who's coming to you, who needs your experience and your wisdom to help them on their healing journey. Interesting. 7 of Wands, you might have to stand your ground in some way. Or perhaps, wow, this is interesting. I feel like you're trying to convince someone of something because you know what the right thing. You've seen the behavior that should be avoided and the behavior that should be encouraged. You have knowledge. You have experienced it. You've been hurt in the past, but you're strong. You're very strong. You are very strong. And you're going to be using your skills and your knowledge to give people who are in harder positions, at least initially for them, knowledge on how to make the best decision. But you have to feel intuitively that it's the right way to express it, or else you won't be able to say the right thing. You won't know what to say. Only if you tap into your instinctual understanding of a situation, where you know for sure you're making the right choice in what you're communicating to people. Yeah, I feel like that's interesting. Okay. You know, this could just be you have a friend who's going to come to you who was a little heartbroken from a previous relationship, and you have good advice to bestow on them, healing advice that will give those people, that friend or that family member, the confidence that they need to make the right decision. Trust your instincts. Okay, what was this card? Two of Cups. Relationships. This is like really strong relationship. Yeah, someone's going to seek your advice, I think. You know, if someone seeks your advice, it's an interesting situation. You got to be careful. You want to make sure that they still have their choice. You can't just like drill it into them like you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to show them why. Maybe tell them a story of what happened to you in the past. When you were seeking wisdom yourself and you found it, what was it about that wisdom? How did you find that wisdom? There might be a lesson in the story that you're not even aware of, but that the listener is. And that's the beauty of stories, actually. I do think someone's going to come to you. You know, you might be someone who people trust and rely on, especially if you're a therapist. Or, in some ways, this could be a reversal of the story. You might want to see a therapist. You might want to seek out one of those wise people who you've met in the past who can help you with the decision. Oftentimes, you know, piles have the polar mirror image of each other, the teacher and the student. Well, we have some interesting cards here. Let's do a clarification pile, or clarification draw with the Golden Art Nouveau tarot card deck. I hope you're doing well, group number 2. Reading 2. Okay. Cool. Well, this one definitely goes here. And these. Let's see how many we have left after this. Okay, clarification of you presently. Movement still, but decisive movement. Swords and swords and swords. A lot of decisions, like giving advice. Interesting new beginning in physicality, but in a subconscious way. Maybe you're not aware of this new change of habit, a good habit to avoid. Something, maybe a good habit of knowing who to talk to. Interesting. Okay, we have the 5 on top of the Queen of Pentacles. Really interesting interaction there. A sense of lack with an inherent abundance or an inherent confidence. And then we have, okay, Justice. A lot of swords came out last time too. Are those cards like, I'm going to have to really shuffle, but I feel like they just want to come out for this reading too. Maybe you want to look back on reading number 1, but the swords, the decisiveness making a right choice around lovers, heartbreak, hard work, relationships. This is a lot of relationship story here. And healing. Wait, look, we have the star and the star. We have both stars. Look at that. Both stars, the lover, the Two of Cups. This is a relationship advice. Someone's either going to seek you out for relationship advice, or you need to seek someone else out for relationship advice. That's amazing. Okay. But to heal from heartbreak. And then you have the World. Yeah, the World. Okay, an end of a cycle and a beginning. Look at that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, those all came out at once. And that's really funny that they would. It makes sense they would, actually. Okay. Fascinating. Wait, those didn't come out at once. Those didn't come out at once. But like, look at this healing. A lot of healing. You know, if you are a therapist, I think this just reaffirms you're on the right track. If you're someone who's going to be giving advice, remember, you know, it's a nuanced, it's an art form to give advice. It's never something that you can just bluntly hand to someone. You have to take them into account when you're telling them how you think they should behave differently or do something differently. It's always going to be a dance, and always good to listen as well. And being out in the cold from a relationship, but having warmth, new beginning, love. If you just know the right path, if you know what to look for, find that love, or listen to someone who knows how to find that love. With yourself or with others. Pile number 2, or reading number 2. You are a healer, or you are healing, or you are both. I'm very excited for you. I hope that whichever position you are in, whether you are listening or giving out advice, that it's a great exchange and something that really benefits you and the people that you care about. All right. I believe it will be. I mean, look at all these stars. You are healing. You are healing, pile number 2. Cool. You are a healer. Ooh, my stomach. Yeah, that's just confirming that. I'm on a fast right now. That's why I have the blue ribbon. It's just to remind myself, if I ever walk without thinking to the refrigerator, that, you know, don't do it. Remember. All right. Well, pile number 2. Thank you for giving good advice and receiving good advice. Take care. See you soon. Hello, pile number 3. Reading number 3, group number 3. You chose the Emperor alongside the Raven Skull Dagger. And what's interesting is yesterday's reading had the Emperor in the exact same position during the pick a card, and the dagger was the Golden Snake Dagger. Let's see if I have that with me. Where would I have put that? Well, but both, oh, here it is. But both are animal powers, but also both involving a very strong intellectual, like intellect, strength, strong intellect, strategic strength. That was the theme from yesterday's reading. If you want, definitely read or listen to that one. But we'll see where this one takes us, because it definitely has a different energy. The golden snake, the golden dagger with the snake, had a very interesting one, but I do believe that this one has a much more like arcane, like deep in a library kind of knowledge to it. So we'll take a look at what we get with this. I look forward to it. So hope you are doing well. We did shuffle off camera. If you would like me to shuffle everything on camera, let me know. I just think it saves a little bit of time. Look at that. I like to take my butterfingers as a sign that those cards should be drawn, rather than just that I don't know how to shuffle. Although I do know how to shuffle, just these cards are way bigger than I'm used to. Okay, just a couple more. We'll take a look at what we got here. So, that was the first one. It stays there. Cool. Let's just make sure everything's in view. Okay. And one more. Okay, I just need one more. Right here. Great. Okay. So, reading number 3, you are currently in the 5 of Pentacles. Hold your family close. Holding what's dear to you close. You know, could be within sadness, but it also could just be those moments where you just really appreciate those people that matter to you. And you just take appreciation of those moments. Living in the moment for a second. Actually, being patient. Patience and holding on to what you love. Okay. Oh, this is the first time I've drawn this. So, this is not a traditional tarot card. This is one of 2 special oracle cards that come in this deck. This is the Ethereal Visions Tarot Luna Edition deck, and it has a special reading. I'll read that right now. I feel like that should be read right now. So, these 2 cards are the Artist and the Well. And we got the Well here, so let's read it. The Well. The Well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix, whose knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. Knowledge, like deep in the library, kind of. A library is a well of knowledge. Nurturing opportunity, nature, and creativity. And this is nature. This is very nature-oriented. Interesting. This reading is slightly different from the last one. I would say definitely go back to it if you're curious. But this is interesting. This is going in a very interesting direction. Knowledge, a wealth of knowledge, a spring of knowledge. 5 of Wands. You know, debate done well is a search for truth. You know, debate just to win is a different game completely. But if you debate to find truth, that's definitely a wellspring. We don't do reversals. Page of Wands. A new venture. And a venture where you've learned a lot, but you're still new to it a little bit. Wheel of Fortune. Well, reading number 3, you are tricky. You're an interesting one. Okay. Not tricky, but very ethereal. I feel wind with this one. This makes sense with the wings. Okay, 9 of Cups underneath the Lovers. The subconscious of the Lovers, 9 of Cups. A sense of like pride in having accomplished a lot. With the Lovers, hold the people that you love close. Be patient with your family and friends who are, you know if they have good intentions and they're just figuring things out in their own way. Be patient with them. You know, everyone has their fortunate times and their not so fortunate times. If you had maybe not a very serious argument, but a debate about something with family members or friends, remember that it's about the search for truth. It's not about beating each other. It's not about winning. It's about the search for truth. And the search for a best path. You know, we all have different ideas. With the Empress and the Emperor. Look at this reading. Wow. With the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands have been wanting to come out every reading, I think. Queen of Wands just always wants to be around. I've seen the Queen of Wands in like every reading the past 2 days. It's what's your choice in how you're going to provide for your family? What's your choice of how you're going to relate to your friends. You know, who's your lover that you're proud of? You're proud of like the people you love. You're also like very you have the ability to be creative. This doesn't feel like a long distant past to a future that's going to be very climactic. This feels more like a reminder of strength in family and friends that you can trust. The ones that you can trust. But also keeping that deep, like always searching for knowledge, never letting that go, always the search. Always the search. The raven's a fascinating, the raven skull is a fascinating symbol. You know, ravens, there's lots of stories about ravens. Oftentimes they're depicted in a very, like either a jester or a joker or a trickster, but oftentimes they're kind of like the Prometheus, the bringer of fire, the bringer of knowledge. And that ties directly with the well. Maybe you have done some research, or maybe you are trying to convince your family of doing something specifically, or maybe you found a lover and it's going to be that new chapter in your relation to the rest of your family. And it's coming from patience and knowledge. This needs clarification. We're going to clarify it with another deck. So let's go. Fascinating, though. It feels very airy, very like this is a very nice time in the future. Like this is those moments where you can take a look around. You can take a look around and just appreciate the good in everyone that you've had in your life. I mean, there's always shadow, but there's also wisdom in every word spoken if you are looking for it. That wants to go there. Okay, these two too. All right. So I'm taking these off deck or off camera. Okay. Okay, let's clarify this reading. I get the sense it's appreciation of family, of communicating to find the best possible path within a group. You know, it might not just be family, it might be a group, but I feel family. Okay, we have justice again. 6 of Swords. Perhaps you're moving. Perhaps you're moving a little farther away from family for a job, or you did move because of a job in the past. You had to make a judgment call. You know, some things happened that were outside of your control, and it forced you to make a decision. Okay, the Ace of Wands. Right underneath the Queen of Wands. Look at all these queens, and interesting. A lot of intuition, emotional connection to people. And is this okay? Look at this. Wheel of Fortune alongside the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, the winds, the winds of fortune, the wind. Another queen. Are these all the queens? Wait. Okay, no. We got Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. Justice threw me off there for a second, but what other queens? Do we have any other queens? We had the Empress. Queen of Wands. Okay, so we had two Queen of Wands. Future. How you build your family is going to be beautiful. because you have an idea. Maybe you're helping your family, or maybe, well, you are. You're growing your family. You have an idea for how you want to live. You have a dream. It's a beautiful dream. You have the ability to make it happen. It might take some patience, a little bit of travel, a little bit of understanding, maybe going someplace to explore it, or maybe just to get away for a second for a new perspective. But you're proud of your relationships. You should be. You have good relationships. Not all of them, but some. I mean, hey, we're human, right? Like, we're going to have some relationships that aren't as great as others. We have to work on all of them. And the ones where people are trying to work with you are the best ones that you can try to work with them. It's like the well is the tying part of this. Your knowledge of how people work together is important here. And I think you have the intuitive knowledge, the intuitive know-how to reach that point where you create the environment that creates luck. You can put yourself in positions where opportunities arise more often than not. And I think you've experienced the other side of that, but there's a positive side too. You can put yourself in a place that's more advantageous for you and your family and your loved ones. I mean, perhaps you're courting someone or about to get married. Or maybe you just got married and you're integrating the families. This feels like a very big family-oriented reading. Maybe that you're going to find someone that is perfect for your family. Like, because, you want your family to love the person you love too. Obviously, the decision is really about the two of you, but you always want to consider other people involved in your family. Like, are you going to live close to them? Or are you going to live farther away? There's a lot of decisions here. But it's all based on, like, you having really, really good idea of what you want. And you're going to get it. I mean, you're going to create that world. You build that home. You build that home. Start with ground, first floor, second floor. You're going to build that home. Yeah, I want to keep saying that. That seems to be the broadest. I mean, you have the Emperor energy across the board. Sometimes, like, to find the real knowledge, you have to dig deep in the crates. You have to go back into the stacks of a library. But you've done that. You found some, and you are smart, and you're intelligent, and you're powerful enough to see when certain truths or certain ideas are worth keeping. And that's a very strong skill to have if you want to build a family. The values that you establish early are some of the most important things you can do to establish good values. That's another thing that's here. It's very proud of the way you relate to your lover. The way because a lot of people have different ideas of love. And yours are very good. Always strive for the highest ideals. Never stop learning. But also know when you have something really good that you can hold on to. That empowers you, but also creates a good environment. Like, you can be empowered to create a bad environment, but you can be empowered to create a good one too. And sometimes raw power is neutral to where it goes. So it's agnostic in some ways, but look at all of this intuitive confidence. So much confidence. Yeah, you're good. This is an interesting reading, a very powerful one, like the last Emperor reading. And this is you're building a home, or you have the capability to, with the ideas you have. The resources have to come, maybe, or you're on your way to having enough. In fact, I think you are. You're building those resources right now. But your ideas are sound. They're a solid bedrock. That's amazing. pile number 3, reading number 3. I'd love to meet you someday. Love to meet you when you have that home. That dream that you have that you're so confident about. Make it happen. You're going to. Just be patient. All right. See you later. Pile number 3. Subscribing to this channel helps more than you can possibly imagine. This is a very new channel, so any support has profound impact on the trajectory of how well this channel does. If you enjoyed any of this reading, please consider subscribing and giving a like to this video. Also, the notification bell is a big plus too. Thank you so much for watching Sleep Tarot. Take care.